welcome everyone to Tint Wisdom number 72. Today is going to be a solo Tint Wisdom like we used to do, and the topic for today, we're going to go over the top 10 questions that we get asked in the live chat section, the support of Tint Wiz. So these are the top 10 most commonly asked questions, obviously the most commonly answered questions, and I think there's a lot of value in going through these questions because I think it's important when it comes to questions to note that people don't always know I got the volume a little low. Let me turn it up. Thanks, Sean. Hello, hello. Hopefully that's a little better. Aim this mic better. So, all right. So, I think this will be especially valuable today. I think we're turned up. Okay, there it is. There it is. The mic was definitely low. Thank you, Sean. It was very low. All right. So again, today's topic is going to be going over the top 10 questions we get asked in the live chat support section of the Tint Wiz app. And, why I feel it's especially valuable to go over these questions is I think it's always important to remind yourself that, people don't always know what questions to ask. So when you say something like, if you have any questions, just let me know, while that's a nice invitation to open up discussion and hopefully get questions, I feel like, if you want to take it a step further, you want to think of the questions that your customer or whoever it is may not even know that they need to ask, but maybe something that they'd like to be answered once they know that it's a possibility. So what I'm saying by that is the way to relate to it is, think about if you were to propose window film to a customer. Let's just say in flat glass, you were to, suggest two different films. Okay. Now, I think you're better off, instead of showing them those options, saying, let me know if you have questions. It's nice if you can think of some of the questions that they may have and try to answer them for them. And that's something you can do obviously on your website. You could do in paperwork. You could do over the phone. You think of the questions that they may have and you answer them before they even ask them. And, I think it's a good business practice to do, for your own business at any level, whether you're dealing with a customer, B2C, B2B, whatever it is. So that's why that's going to be the topic today. Now, before we do it, I do want to go over a couple things. So I have a post that I picked out that I wanted to discuss. But before that, I just wanted to talk for a minute about next week's guest and Tuesday's and last week's guest. So I'm really excited that next week we're going to have Rob Oranges from Denko on there. Now, Rob's somebody that I've known for years, and he's somebody that was like very integral in, in my previous business, in the window film business I had in Los Angeles. And he was just a resource. He's just the nicest person and such a deep resource when it comes to window film, flat glass, window film, and, graphics, architectural, everything to do with that. So he's going to come on and we're going to talk about printers, different printer solutions that you can get into, as well as flat glass and kind of like in-depth technical questions. I feel like where his strength it really is. I mean, he knows every single thing there is to know about glass and about film to glass compatibility and what solutions are best when and so on. And, this sort of knowledge, once you get it, you take it with you for your entire career, and it's knowledge that you can impress every customer with. It can change the way you sell window film. It can change the way, your business, the direction your business goes. So I'm really excited that he's coming on here, and that'll be on this coming Tuesday. And then, if you haven't seen previous Tuesdays Tint Wisdom from earlier this week, Tim was on there from 44 Tools, and it was just, if you haven't seen it, just watch it, whether you watch it on YouTube or you listen to it on like SoundCloud or Apple Podcasts and so on. He's just such a nice guy, and you get an understanding of like who's behind the company and like where they're coming from and what they're trying to achieve as a company and so on. And like I said, who's behind it? Like it was so relatable to hear him talk about his car collection because we both shared a commonality that we were both like heavily into message boards. So, 10, 15 years ago, before Facebook was really a thing, message boards, V bulletin boards, PHP bulletin boards, those were where everybody came to meet on topics. And, car message boards, VW Vortex, Club SI, these are things that still exist today and are still huge marketing and networking opportunities when you can integrate yourself into a website like that. And usually there might be a sponsorship fee, but if you integrate yourself organically enough, because it's truly a passion, those are huge opportunities to take your passion and turn them into a business. And he's such a good example of how you can do that and how much value there is in there. So check that out. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about the one we did last Thursday, a week from today, with Michael Burke from Sunstoppers. And that had such a huge positive reaction. We were both receiving messages after and still coming in, and people just appreciate that one. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It gave me an appreciation for what Sunstoppers is doing, because previously I was under the idea that it was more of like a franchise. And, we all, when we think of window film franchises, we think of them not necessarily being the best opportunity. We haven't seen a great example of a window film franchise that really is thriving out in their market. And what they are is not a franchise at all. They're more like a co-op. And what that means is, you're paying a membership fee to be a Sunstoppers location. And in return, you're going to get their marketing materials, their systems, their marketing, their lead generation. You're going to get basically inclusiveness on this network of people that all share a common goal and are able to pool their resources through that monthly membership in there to get the best marketing, get the best deals on that, get the best deals on credit card processing, on all the aspects that you kind of have to manage as a business owner and look into and research. They're basically saying, hey, we're going to take care of that stuff and we're going to be there to help, so that you kind of, you get some guidance, you get some resources and so on, and you don't have to do every single part of your business. You're able to pay a nominal fee per month and become a Sunstoppers location. So with that said, Michael, I have spoken with Michael Burke about coming back on. So the plan is for a couple weeks from now, there's a lot of questions he's been asked that he wants to use a Tint Wizdom to address those questions. So if you have any questions, shoot them over or just put them in the comments during that live stream. And of course, we'll get them answered. And I'm just excited about that, because this is, it is just an opportunity. And I want everybody to reflect on where you're at in your business and what you're looking for, because everybody's at a different place and everything's not for everyone. But at the same time, like, you want to have that dialogue with yourself and question, is this something that's good for you? Could it be useful for you? And, the answer may be yes, the answer may be no. And that's going to depend maybe largely on where you're at in your business and what you're looking to achieve, and, some of the boundaries that you've had in place. So if that's a good fit, cool. It's, and if it's not, cool too. But I think they're doing something that's unique. I think it's going to have value to a lot of shops. And, I'm glad I got a chance to speak with Michael and look forward to doing it again in a couple weeks. So with that said, let's jump into that post real quick, and then we'll get through that top 10. And that post was actually from the window tinting business. And, the post was by Liz. It said, I'm interested to hear what your first year in business, about your first year in business. What were your struggles? What do you wish you knew back then? What were you proud of? What advice would you give to a new business? And even if you're not a new business, I think posts like these are just gold mines, because they produce a lot of great solutions and maybe mental hurdles even that you're going through that might even be going kind of, you're thinking about them in the back of your mind, in your subconscious, and hearing it from somebody else, you identify as, wow, yeah, that is something that I do, or that is something that I think, or that is something that I need to solve. And it goes back to that. You don't always know the question that you need answered until you hear it. So I want to go through some of the answers that were in there earlier today. And Joey said, raise your prices. I don't care what you are now, but be the most expensive in your market. Someone has to be, so why not you? And I think that's really great advice from Joey. If you are the most expensive, that's going to open up those profit margins for you. It opens up a marketing budget. It opens up you like a budget to do all the things that are important to do if you want to provide world-class service for your customers. That, 5 stars out of 5 stars service for your customers. You need money to do that. And if you don't charge enough, you're not going to have the money enough. You're not going to have enough money to rent a proper location, or to pay for your insurance, or to stock film that you need and other products, or to send somebody to training, or to try out something new. It does take money to try out. We talked with Tim on Tuesday about adding detailing and PPF and so on. Well, you have to be able to take a breath from your grind, and you have to be able to maybe invest in some material you haven't sold yet and that may go to the trash, and you need money for that. So, I think that's great advice. Todd Cohen said, before I started my business, I was making $1,000 a week back in 1987 as a side hustle. I opened my store, worked 6 days a week, 10 to 15 hours a day. And the end result, after investing in my brand and hiring people, I made about 97 cents an hour. Year number 2, I made $1.11 an hour. Year number 3, I made a little over minimum wage, which was $3.35 at the time. Year number 4, after investing in my business and hiring the right people, I started making 6 figures a year. Moral of the story, plan on working more hours for shit money until you build your business properly. Or you can do everything yourself for free for the first year and make what you make, good paying store, a couple of years, 50 or 100,000. The problem is if you work by yourself, you never have any time off and you take on all the stress of a business owner and no benefits of an employee, health insurance, retirement, and paid time off. So that is such great advice. It's spot on. Being a business owner is not going to be less work. It's going to be way more work. And you probably initially may make less money than you made as an employee. That's why there is no right or wrong. It's just following your dreams and what you want to build for yourself. And, Todd pointed out that you can, if you want to make a lot of money up front, then you have to do everything. If you're going to do everything, then you may fall into that scenario where you're doing everything and you're never going to not do everything. And you just have to know what type of business you want to run. There's nothing wrong with doing everything. Doing everything means that you don't have any employees that won't show up for work. You don't have any employees that you have to hire and train. You don't have any employees to deal with. And that's a value in itself. But, like anything, it has its pros, it has its cons. Having employees has its pros. Having employees has its cons. There's no right or wrong answer. You have to do what's right for you. But something to think about in the back of your head, if you are an employee and you're looking at that grass is greener, look how much money my boss is making, try to understand all that goes into it. And the same way, if you have employees and you're a business owner, you try to empathize with how much work your employees are doing and what their goals are and how they want to grow in your business or, financially or so on. And, they need time off too and so on. So, it's great advice from Todd. And then a couple more comments. Pricing, definitely never for any reason give discounting on your work. So I think Jason has the right intentions with that answer, but I don't believe in the never, ever, 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 ever give discounts on your pricing, because you want to kind of have a system you follow, kind of a way, procedures, and you want to know, hey, maybe I discount it by this amount. Maybe I do it for military and police, and maybe I do it to earn somebody's business because I know they have a car collection and I want to show them how great my work is so I can earn the rest of their business. There's always going to be exceptions, I think, that when you want to put that relationship over that dollar, and when you find that worthy of doing it, don't live by strict guidelines of not discounting your work, because, it's a trade with your work. You're getting money in exchange for your time. There's other ways to receive value than just money. So, at least be open. But I know that Jason was on the right track with that answer. And I think we see eye to eye. He had the right intentions. And what he means is just don't give away your work for free, because you're going to start to attract the wrong types of customers. You're going to deal with the wrong types of scenarios. And it's probably not going to be the direction you want your business to go. Kevin, you said invest back into the business. This is by far the most important. People see some easy money and they go blow it. It needs to go back into the business to see growth. That is exactly right. If you want to see growth, you have to invest it back into your business. Your business is your money tree, okay? And your money is you watering and fertilizing and so on. So the more you tend to that tree, the more money it's going to produce. But if you don't water it, if you don't fertilize it, if you don't pay attention to it, if all you do is come over to that tree and eat off of it all the time, it's probably not going to grow very big. You may kill it. It may work out. But, Kevin's 100% right in his answer in investing back. And then Jason reiterates that definitely putting money back into the business. Plan for purchasing more film. I didn't do that for years. After every job, I'd take the family out for a nice dinner thinking I made it. Banking on the next job for reinvestment, but then blowing that money. Definitely learning to manage the money is a must. So, Jason, that is 1,000% important. Everybody needs to realize this. If you're ordering your film after you get a deposit from your customer, you're doing it wrong, okay? You want to be able to stock the film for the most part. Of course, there's going to be exceptions, but your core films, you want to have those on stock. You want to be ready to install, because you are going to get jobs win jobs just because you're able to get them done quickly. You're able to provide a better service when you're able to provide a quick turnaround for your customer. You're able to eliminate a lot of potential issues when you sell a job if you're ordering the film after. So while I understand that film is expensive and stocking some film does eat up money, that is your business. That is your product. That is what you need to make money. So you should have it on hand. Okay, so you definitely want to reinvest in your film. You also want to reinvest in things like your image and your website and your marketing. So the easy things: invest in proper uniforms for yourself and your staff. Invest in a proper vehicle to arrive to your customers, or if you're doing mobile, invest in a car wrap if you're doing that. Even investing in a car wrap and parking it in front of your shop if you're not mobile and you're only automotive, that brings eyes. People are impressed with that. So that's, if you have a car passion, if you park a nice car in front of your shop and you wrap that with your cars, with your business's logo and information, you are going to be a driving billboard everywhere you go. So you're going to enjoy a nice car, and it's actually going to be a business expense because you're actually using it for business. So what that means is you're going to get the benefits of a business expense, you're going to get the benefits of a nice car, and you're going to get to enjoy it, and you're going to bring in more business, which is number one. So having money to invest, being able to buy a plotter, being able to buy a printer, being able to buy a van, being able to hire somebody when you're not 100% sure if you're going to be able to pay them every week. That's what you need money aside for. So you need to pay yourself out of the company, and then you need to save company money as company money. You get paid for the job you do for the company. So if you're an installer for the company, pay yourself as an installer for the company. Put aside the rest because that money is needed for other areas of the company, like hiring a receptionist, hiring other installers, hiring somebody to handle maintenance around, or hiring somebody to paint the place once a year. Those are all things that cost money. And when you start to separate your pay from the company, you're going to have an easier time allocating that money. And Haas said yes on the wrap. My folks love mine. Haas's wrap is super badass. It's a full pickup truck, and then you have the trailer behind it, and it's a billboard. You can't help but look at it, and I'm sure that's going to be bringing in, I'm sure it's already brought in business, and I'm sure it's going to continue to bring in business. It also makes for some great pictures at your customers' locations. And, it gives a professional appearance when you're arriving. It's clear that you've invested in your business. What that means is you're not going to disappear tomorrow because you're invested. You didn't slap a magnet on your truck and decide to do window tint this weekend. This is what you've committed your vehicle, your trailer, and a lot of money to. So it really goes a long way in a lot of ways when you do a full wrap and you're not just putting lettering on your vehicle and you're taking it super seriously. So yeah, vehicle wraps, definitely a way to invest. So that is the post. That was in the Window Tinting Business Facebook group. And Haas said a ton growing every day. That's really, really awesome. I'm so glad that we're sitting here, a couple months from when we were sitting, a couple months ago, we were sitting here wondering, number one, if everybody was going to die. Number two, if businesses were going to be able to be ever open and what that was going to look like. And three, if anybody was going to have any money or jobs to, use those businesses that are out there like your own. And we're here only a couple months later. Most cities and states are opened up. Most people are spending money, it seems. And the businesses that were busy before seem to be not only just busy, but overloaded with work. So there seems to be a little bit of a rebound effect that came from that time off. What that means is, to me, the economy wasn't, it wasn't thrashed. It wasn't this impending doom coming out of this. People are able to find jobs. People have money. People are getting those jobs back. So that's a really great place to be in, and I'm so glad. Chamal, thanks for joining. And Chamal, you caught us right in time to talk about the top 10 things that people ask us basically in the So Haas said, my call message volume has tripled since doing it. So tripled since a vehicle wrap. I mean, let's talk price of vehicle wrap really quick. So design for a vehicle wrap, about $750 to maybe $1,000 is a good price. You don't want it done for less. You don't want it done for $200 because it's going to probably suck unless you're getting a deal from a friend. Even then, why be so cheap with your friend? You wouldn't want them to do it for you. To you, pay a reasonable rate. That rate is maybe $500 to $1,000, but I think $750 is on the money, maybe up to $1,000 depending on the designer. So $750 to $1,000 for a vehicle wrap, okay? And that's going to be the overall design for, let's say, your trailer, for your truck now, or your van, whatever it is. Now, the good thing is, as you get more vehicles, you add a trailer, so on, they can basically reuse that design and just move it around to fit the new template. So the new design. So that's probably going to cost you maybe an additional $350 to $500. Okay. And that's a vehicle wrap. Then you have to get it printed and installed. Printed is, give you rough numbers. Again, everyone's going to be a little different, but printed, you should expect to pay around $1,000 for a print for a vehicle wrap, because you are not only using the material, but you're using the ink. So $1,000 is a really great price for the print if you're getting a quality like a 3M or an Avery, and you do want to use a quality print and laminate for that. Okay. And then as far as installation goes, if you're just paying somebody for installation, maybe you found somebody who knows how to wrap, $1,000 is another great like earmark number to pay for the actual wrap installation. So if you're talking print, wrap, design, you're talking at about $3,000 to get that all done, give or take. And yeah, don't go for somebody who's telling you $1,500. $1,500 is going to be on cheap material, cheap laminate, probably cheap design, and they're going to give you well, this is a commercial vehicle, so it doesn't need to look that good. And that's not the case, because you want to get the length, the life out of your wrap. You're investing that $3,000. You're going to get way longer out of it if they take the time to prep the caravan before you wrap it, if they do a good job wrapping it, if it's properly cleaned, if any spots, if it's old, if paint's flaking, if you sand those down, the whole thing, everything goes into it. So you want to pay a reasonable rate. That's going to be about $3,000. That's a one-time investment that's going to bring you back job after job after job. And a couple jobs a week, it's going to pay you back quick. One flat glass job could pay you back. So it's totally, totally worth it. Get it, and then you're going to be a driving billboard. So Haas said, you get what you pay for it and reap the benefits. That's it. That's completely it. You get what you pay for. This is a way to fertilize your business's money tree. Okay. You do it once, hire a professional, let them, if you don't do wraps, let them print it, let them wrap it, and you're done. Let them design it too. Don't be a business owner who thinks you know what a good design looks like. If you do, then hire somebody who designs like that. That's what you want to do. But you don't want to tell them, well, why don't you add this? Why don't you add this? Why don't you move the logo here? Because what happens is you end up with a Frankenstein. And there is a bit of a science to how wraps are laid out and how quickly somebody is going to be able to determine what your business does, how quickly, does as a service, how quickly they're going to be able to read that contact information and remember it and, whatever it is. So you don't want to Frankenstein your wrap. And I really think you the way you vet somebody, you find somebody who has designed 5, 10, 20 wraps that are stuff that you like. You look at that and you go, wow, I really like that. And then you tell them, hey, I really like this group of wraps that you did. I want something similar for my business. And let them design it for you. You want to pay for that process. You don't want to pay for the wrap, the installation, and you did some Frankenstein and nobody can tell what your wrap is from far away or, driving by. Do not want that. So the same way there's value in somebody really knowing how to apply window film or a wrap, there is value in them knowing how to really lay out a design too. Okay, don't underestimate the importance of that. So let's go into the top 10 questions that we get in Tint Wisdom's live chat. And we are going to start with the first question. The first question is, can I import my existing customers into Tint Wiz from another app? So the answer to that is you should be able to, as long as the existing app you're using lets you export the information. So what that means is Tint Wiz can accept any information that you have in any common form, like a CSV file. So you can import it into Tint Wiz. That's very flexible, very easy. You can do it in the contact section of Tint Wiz. You can do it, we can help you in live support. But the real question here is, can you get the information out of the place that you're currently using it, So as long as there's an export feature, as long as there's a way to get your information out, then you can absolutely get it in Tint Wiz. Now, one other thing I'd like to touch on is, what about getting information out of Tint Wiz? Well, that's exporting. You absolutely can import and export all your information from Tint Wiz in and out. We can also assist you in live chat for any special requests, or if you just want it done for you. So that is no problem. Now, that is important to us, to always allow everybody to always be able to import and export your information, because exporting information is it's a way that you can get extra value out of your data. You may want to import that somewhere else. You may want to sort that in a certain way or use it for a certain type of campaign. And that is part of the flexibility that you want in an app. So if you're not able to export your information out your app, out of like something you're using, then that should be a warning sign, because that means that they're trying to lock in your data for some reason, because exporting is a common thing. It's an essential feature, and you want to be able to export. So you can absolutely import and export any information in and out of Tint Wiz forever and very easily. You can do it yourself from the desktop version of the app. You just go to tintwiz.com and you'll see the import and exports under like the contacts and projects, or you can just jump in live chat, let us know what you need to do, and we just do it for you. It's that easy. Haas asked if it integrates into QuickBooks. It does integrate into QuickBooks. And that is number 6. So we'll skip around. Tint Wiz absolutely integrates into QuickBooks. Now, one of the reasons I highly, highly recommend you integrate with QuickBooks Online, because it's not only an option, it's a best practice. And I'll tell you why. Somewhere in your business, at some stage in your business, you're probably going to hire an accountant. Somebody's going to do your taxes, whether they work for you full-time, part-time, or just to do your accounting at the end of the year for your taxes. Somebody's going to be doing that. And 99% of the time, they're going to be using QuickBooks. So what's going to happen is you're going to be exporting all your data from your different, like Square and so on and WePay, and you're going to be giving them all that information, turning them over that information, or pulling a report and turning that over. But most of the time, your data ends up in QuickBooks, somewhere in QuickBooks. So if you simply use QuickBooks integrated with Tint Wiz, then all your data is in QuickBooks. Everything syncs automatically, all your customers, all your transactions. You can use their online payment service if you'd like, and you can do it all through Tint Wiz without actually having to go into QuickBooks. So to me, having your direct connection from your CRM into into QuickBooks from Tint Wiz with all your transactions there, you are setting yourself up for future, to thank your past self. Because what happens is, as things get bigger, as they get more complicated, as you grow, reeling that in becomes more difficult, okay? And, eventually you hit that day where you're like, oh man, things are a mess, or my accountant needs so much information from me. And having it all in QuickBooks is just, you're done. It's there. You can pull the reports. You can, when you're ready to pull a P&L, or whether you're ready to see your balance sheet, you can pull those numbers. It's all there. It's all accurate. And it all happens automatically by integrating Tint Wiz into QuickBooks. Use QuickBooks online payment options too, and you can invoice directly out. People can pay. Everything syncs up. So the answer is yes. And the answer is yes, not only because QuickBooks is one option, but because I think it's your best option. It's a best practice, and you're going to thank yourself at some stage of your business. Right now, you may say, but I'm using this, right? But at some stage, your information is probably going to QuickBooks. At some point, you're going to see the need to upgrade. So it's just easier to set it up from day one, QuickBooks Online. And there's a lot of resources that QuickBooks offers. If you want to hire somebody that's certified with QuickBooks, everybody that's worth handling this stuff is certified with QuickBooks. So what that means is you're making their life easier. They're going to be able to make your life easier. Your numbers are going to be accurate, and your numbers are an enormous part of your business growth, because it's how you're going to be able to understand your profit margins and how much you're paying for what, and how you can save money and how you can make more money and so on. So you have to know your numbers. So that was number 6 on the list. Thank you, Haas, for bringing that up, because it's a great question. I'm going to jump back to number 2, and that's going to be, can I add my own film types? So can I add my own window film types? What that's referring to is the database in Tint Wiz of all the different window films. So when you go to create a proposal, or put that you're doing a certain film for a certain window or a certain car, you don't have to type in the type of film you're using. You can search for it. The database pulls up a full database of all the films. Now, the reason for that is because that's one of the places you can become incredibly unorganized, is if you're entering your own films in. The reason you can become unorganized is because you can enter in films in ways that don't become necessarily the best don't have the right sortability, searchability. Sometimes you can enter in a film duplicate multiple times if you were to just kind of enter it into a database yourself. That also means that you have to enter them all in, meaning you have to look them up, get the names, get the whole deal. So what we've done was we've created a database of just about every known window film out there and every shade, so that you're able to just search for the window film you're looking for by brand or by solution or by keyword, and you can actually find the film that's even right. Sometimes, if you're looking for dual reflective, you can search dual reflective and actually see the dual reflectives. You can search by brand, you can search a specific film, you can pick that film, and then within there, most of the time you're going to see a description automatically populate for that film as well, which is an added value because you don't have to type that into that proposal. It's pre-filled in for you. Now, this is just baby steps into what we have planned as far as our film database goes, but it's already in the works. It's already there to use. All the films are pretty much in there. And if you find a film that you can't find in that database, then all you need to do is jump in our live chat in the app, let us know, we get it added ASAP, and that's it. So it's an ongoing process. We're always adding more films in there as films get created by companies or as, we find them and so on. And again, this is a helpful way to stay organized, know what films you installed on what projects and what cars, and also create proposals a little more fast and with a little more professionalism to them because, again, they auto-populate the descriptions and key information about the films. And again, that's just the very, very tip of the iceberg as to what we have planned. So, number 3, most commonly asked question, can I use Tint Wiz to create proposals for PPF projects? You absolutely can. So you can create proposals for PPF, for clear bra, for ceramic coating, for AC duct replacements. You can create them for anything, okay? All you need to use is the additional services you'll see on the project, and you can add your own additional services and so on, and you can create them as options on the proposal. So there's no limit, whether it be 12 volt, whether it be detailing, paint protection, any type of window film, of course, anything. You can use Tint Wiz and create proposals with it. Create proposals that also include window film or maybe have nothing to do with window film. You can include other services as upsells or as standalone services. So the answer is yes, yes, yes. Commonly question asked number 4 is, can I get purple triages? So purple triages are a tool, which I actually have. Hang on. All right, so this is a purple triage. These were triages that we had made in collaboration with Triage, with the company directly, and we had them made in purple, and they were as a part of a giveaway that we did to Tint Wiz users and not Tint Wiz users, basically anyone who asked for them. Originally, it was for Tint Wiz users, then it kind of caught fire. Anybody who asked got them. Now, this is still a super commonly asked question, so the answer is yes and no. So we don't have any more to give out at this moment, but we do have something in the works with Triage to make more of these and more of something else that I can't speak more on than that. That's about as much as I can speak about. It will be this year. We will do another giveaway. So the answer is yes, as far as that goes. Now, we don't have any to give away right now, but a couple people in the industry do. So Patrick from Window Tinting Business, Matt from from Tint Stuff, and the team over at the Tinstitute, Austin and Michaela, they actually have purple triages, or we sent them purple triages. Now, if they have some left, I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm not 100% sure. I think the Tinstitute might be out as well, but basically they were giving these along with their orders. So I know people are still getting them from Patrick, from the Window Tint Business, so there's still some circulating out there. There will be more to give out, but at the moment, we don't have any to give out. So, most commonly asked Tint Wiz live chat question number 5 is, what are lead forms? So lead forms are one of my favorite features of Tint Wiz. They are basically, think of the contact form on your website. Somebody can type in their information and it gets sent to you. Okay, think of that, but it's a version that basically is really easy to set up. It's really easy to create. It's fully customizable. And then that lead form, anybody who puts in their information, it automatically goes into your Tint Wiz account. So you don't have to check your email. You're not copying and pasting. You get a notification from Tint Wiz app, and you get an email letting you know you have a new lead. You just click the notification, or you click in the email. You're looking at it. You get the notification in Tint Wiz app as well, and you're contacting that customer within seconds. You're able to add notes and so on, create a project as it goes. That means that all your leads are going to come in directly to Tint Wiz. That's going to increase your response time, eliminate copy pasting and looking back and forth or forgetting. You're not going to have homework for yourself to do after work. If during your lunch break or after work, you're sitting there going, all right, let me check my emails. That's a thing of the past, at least as far as new leads go, because you're going to get that notification. You're going to be able to contact the customer, or If you have a staff, they're going to be able to contact the customer, and you're going to be able to just go on your phone or your computer and see how that call went and how that text message went. What was the status of it? How many leads did you get that day? How many turned into projects, and so on. So this is a way to stay organized. It's a way to stay efficient, and it's a way to stay accountable. So that's lead forms. Again, lead forms are something you can set up yourself. You'll see it in the app, but all you have to do is go into live chat and say, hey, set up my lead forms for me, and we set it up for you. So we can go through your website for you, we can assist you, or we can do it for you, and we'll put those lead forms in the most optimized locations on your website so that you get the highest conversion from visitors and you don't have to do a thing. So that's lead forms. So that was number 5. Number 6 was if Tint Wiz integrates with QuickBooks. We already talked about that. One thing I didn't mention was how to integrate QuickBooks with Tint Wiz. And the way to do that is simply go into the settings area of Tint Wiz, and you're going to see integrations, and you're going to see QuickBooks. You're going to click it. It's going to ask you to log in, and in maybe 60 seconds, you'll be fully integrated. So super, super easy. It's basically a couple clicks, and then it stays connected indefinitely from there. And Rick Tallman just joined us. What's up, Rick? Nice of you to join us. We are on number 7 of the most commonly asked questions in the Tint Wiz live chat. So number 7 is, what are pending tasks? So the tasks section is pretty straightforward. Tasks are basically notes that somebody needs to attend to. So it can be yourself, it can be someone else that you assign it to, or it could be a pending task. So a pending task, maybe not so obvious what that is. What that means is it's a task that has not been assigned to anybody. So it allows for anyone in the staff, yourself, whoever, to make a task but not assign it to somebody. So you're not saying this is for me to do, and you're not saying this is for John or Mary to do. You're saying this is for someone to do. This is something that needs to get done, but whoever can get to it first can do it. Now, anybody who's part of your company in Tint Wiz as a user will see a pending task, an open task, and then they can go to it and they can take it. That assigns it to themselves, and then they can complete it. So this is a way to put jobs out there that need to be done, people that need to be followed up with, or, any situation, supplies that need to be ordered, whatever it is when you have time or when anyone in your company has time, they can take it. And then you can see, wow, that person took that task, and then you can read the notes and see when it was completed and so on. So it's a way to share tasks and not have to necessarily assign something. And that's, I feel like, a very, very, very efficient way to handle jobs, because, if you take tasks on yourself, everything's your task, then someone else within your company may be thinking, how can I help? And they don't really know how they can help at that moment, because unless they ask you and say, how can you help? How can I help? And then you have to explain it. This is a way that, anybody who has a minute to help, they can go ahead and take that task. And if that person didn't get to it, you can get to it, or somebody can get to it. So that is number 7 most commonly asked question. Now we're going to throw in a question from Cody. And Cody Becker said, I have a dumb question. Definitely not a dumb question. I know it to begin with. We use tablets for quotes and such. Lately, it seems my one tablet isn't showing the full schedule. Only a few things, hit and miss. But on my phone, it shows everything. Have a possible fix, or am I doing something wrong? So, it's definitely going to be like the way Tint Wiz works is anything you're doing, you have to be connected to the internet. That's important so that every device connected to the internet is updated live. So if I'm scheduling somebody and you schedule somebody, I'm going to see your live work. I'm going to see that you just scheduled somebody instantly. There's no, time it takes to sync or anything like that. It is live. Now, what's important there is you do have to be connected to the internet. So what can happen sometimes is sometimes a Wi-Fi connection or some sort of issue. And I know you're saying you have 4G, they're 4G tablets, but I would just say look to the internet first, okay? That's your first place to start as far as solving it. And just, refresh the app and see if just a refresh. Go to your browser and go to AOL.com, because you're not probably going to have that cached, because who the heck goes to AOL.com? And go to AOL.com, make sure that page loads. Go back to Tint Wiz, and you should see it. Now, if you don't see it, jump in the live chat. Let us know, because one of the reasons we use live chat so much as a support method is it really gives us an ability, a deeper ability to be able to help diagnose and troubleshoot any sort of issues. So by jumping in that live chat, we're able to, connect with you and be able to provide solutions in ways that we can't necessarily do over the phone or through email. So check Nobody uses AOL. Cody was saying. So, because if you go to a website you frequent, then your cache could load and you're like, oh, look, my internet's working, but it's not working necessarily. That is something that I deal with, not all the time, but I still deal with when you're going, is my internet working? Is my internet working? So, first things first, make sure your internet's working by going to a site that you don't frequent, like AOL.com. And the next thing, if that issue is still persisting, jump in the live chat. I guarantee you we can find a solution immediately, because there's no reason that should ever happen at all. Everything syncs up. That's why everything has to be on the internet. And you're right by using 4G tablets. If you're looking for a tablet to use for your business, number one, iPad. Now, the only other thing I have to say is make sure that your iPad also has cell service to it. Do not get the cheaper version that only has to be connected to Wi-Fi. You need that 4 or 5G service so that you're connected at all times. So when you're on the road, you're in the driveway of somebody's home, you're inside their home, you're in your living room, you need to be able to use that iPad at all times. You can't be relying on a Wi-Fi connection. That would be absurd. It's totally worth the Wi-Fi connection. It's worth the extra $100 or whatever it is for the version that has that option. Absolutely get it. I'll tell you another instance where that comes in as a backup is, so as a backup, if you have your iPads with their own separate cell service, if you run into an instance where in your shop your Wi-Fi goes down, you actually have a backup, because you can use those iPads to ring up your customers or do whatever you need to do, because you're not relying on just your Wi-Fi service at your shop. So it's a backup. I always had redundant Wi-Fi systems, because you don't, even if it happens twice a year, 2 days a year, your Wi-Fi goes down. You can't live without Wi-Fi these days. It's worth the extra $10 to have that service directly on your iPad as well. So that's that. Brad Becker asked a really cool question. I'm really excited that you asked that question. It's not a common question, but it's a really cool question, because it's one that we've, I think, really come up with a solution for, and I just love it. So, okay, Brad's question: can you share the schedule with other shops you work for? Okay, so here's how that works. Okay, the really cool thing is, even as a staff member. Okay, so let's just say, Brad, I'm reading Cody's answer, and I just want to jump. He said my issue, maybe his issue is with Verizon, not a Samsung thing, but I love the Samsung tablet S6. If you love it and it works for you, you love it, and that's it. If you're a Samsung guy, if you're an Android guy, I understand. But simplicity reasons, you just at some point make the jump, go to iPad, go to Apple, and you're going to go, I didn't know how I lived without it. All right, going back to Brad's question. So the really cool thing is, when you become a user on Tint Wiz, so let's kind of take it from the top. As a company, let's say you sign up for Tint Wiz, and you add a staff member, you add Brad. Maybe Brad works for your company, okay? Brad now becomes a user of Tint Wiz, and he has access to that company's calendar. So what happens is, if another company, let's just say, like Brad's question, can you share the schedule with another shop you work for? So what you can do then, Brad, is you can't share your schedule with them. You can't share the other company's schedule or projects with them. But what you can do is they can add you. Another company can add you as a Tint Wiz user as well. And then you can toggle back and forth between the two companies you work for. Okay, so you'll be able to see ABC company has me scheduled here, and you can see XYZ company has me scheduled here. And you can be a part of multiple companies as an employee and manage it back and forth from your Tint Wiz account. It's kind of similar to how, as a company, you can have multiple locations and you can toggle from one company to the other company, one location to the other location, super easily. Just literally a drop down and you pick the company, and you can even move leads from one company to another company. So just as conveniently, if you're an employee of multiple companies, you can toggle between one company and the other company. You can't share your schedule with them, but you can manage both, working for both those companies as one. So that's really cool. If you work for a company, you're a Tint Wiz user, and then you part ways with that company, right? You're still a Tint Wiz user. You no longer have access to that company's projects. You'll no longer be able to see that company's schedule. You'll no longer be able to reference that company's projects at all. They'll disappear from your calendar, but you're still going to be a Tint Wiz user. And if another company invites you to their Tint Wiz account, you now have access to the projects that are assigned to you by that company. So you stay a Tint Wiz user regardless, and you can move from companies. You can add companies to manage. it's very, very flexible, and it's something that we did that way because there's a large group of users that probably like yourself work for multiple companies, and they need a way to manage their schedule, and that's a way that they can go back and forth. They can handle their business. They can put the after pictures of the jobs. They can put the notes, and they can work for multiple companies or one company remotely without having different ways to communicate, text messages and emails and phone calls and printing up paper and all that. Thing of the past. All right, so that was a question from Brad. Brad, thanks for asking it. It's not a common question, but it's one that kind of gets me jazzed up, as you can see. So we're going into the eighth most commonly asked question, which are, what are the difference between an admin, an installer, and a consultant role? So actually piggybacking off of what we just spoke about, when you invite a user, you invite somebody, a staff member, to work in Tint Wiz for your company, okay? You send them an email. You use their email address and their name, and it sends them an invitation to join, okay? Now, there's 3 different ways. I want to answer Brad's question before we move on. He said, can I add a user to my account that only has access to the scheduler? So I think what you're saying is you're saying just the permission of scheduling. So you'd be able to, can you add somebody to your account that only has the permission of scheduling and nothing else? So if that's the question, give me a little thumbs up or just leave another comment. If it's not the question, just reword it and I'll answer it. But I'm going to answer that question because that by itself is a question. So at the moment, no, there are going to be 3 roles that you can assign to an employee. And I'm going to explain why. This was done on purpose. But then I'm also going to explain to you our plans for the future. So this ties perfectly into the question of what are the difference between an admin, an installer, and a consultant role, because those are the 3 roles you're able to select when you invite somebody to work for your company. You can pick, is that person going to be an administrator? Are they going to be an installer? Or are they going to be a consultant? So what is the difference? The main difference, or the difference, is that an admin is going to have access to all the dashboard stats, lead forms, and analytics of the company. Okay, so they're going to actually see the stats on the dashboard, how many leads came in, sales analytics, and so on, how many consultations were scheduled, and so on. Admin can see it all. An installer or consultant are just going to be able to see the projects and jobs. Okay, so now the question that I think Brad just asked is, you get thirstier when there's no guest. Talking for 47 minutes, but the time flies. I wonder, when you listen to podcasts, you can speed it up by 1.5 or 2 times if you want to listen to it faster. And I just wonder if there could be a convenient option to slow it down by 50% or so, because I feel like I do talk fast, but it's just how it works. So anyway, let's get back into it. So the difference in roles from admin, installer, and consultant, the difference, admins can see the stats, all the stats of the day, all the analytics of the company. Installer and consultants can just see projects, okay? They can go into the projects, they can see the projects and so on. Now, the reason that we did that, okay, it was very intentional. It was because, while you can start to come down these roads where you're like, well, I don't want an installer to see the price of a job. I don't want an installer to see, the measurements or the details. It doesn't start to make sense. An installer, any staff member of your company, given the opportunity to, be responsible, can be responsible. So what I'm saying by that is if you're going to take the role of, okay, you're going to be my installer, but I don't want you to know how much I charge for that job. You're basically, if I want to finish that sentence for you, I don't want you to know how much we got for that job because you're going to want more money. And that's where you start to get hairy and you start to hide things. And then an installer goes, well, why can't I know how much you charge for the job? You must be ripping me off. It's because you're making a lot of money and you're not telling me. An installer should be the one potentially collecting payment. They need to know the details of the job. They need to see the before pictures. They need to see the measurements. They need to see maybe the consultant notes. Everybody having access to the business and to that gives everybody the opportunity to do a good job with it and to be responsible and to make sure everything gets done. That's a teamwork environment, okay? And that is 1,000% the best practice. If you can't trust your employees with knowing how much the job costs, then you can't trust that employee to work for your company. That's not a good fit, okay? There's instances where an installer goes, is there putting up film, and the person goes, man, I really love that. Can you do 2 more windows? How much is that going to be? And you want to empower your installer to go, well, this is how much it's going to be. And go ahead and install those windows for them or sell them on it. Don't you want to empower them, or do you want them to go, I don't know, I have no idea how much this window film goes for? If your installer doesn't know how much the window film costs, think about that. What impression does that give on your customer? Like your customer sees that your employee doesn't know the prices of your services. What that tells your customer is this is maybe a temporary employee, or they're not trustworthy. So that's just kind of one reason I just wanted to kind of go off on a tangent and say why we have the role set that we do and the permission set that we do. With that said, we are absolutely adding the ability to customize the permissions, so you can customize them however you want. And that is going to be something that we add in there. But I feel very, very strongly that you need to forget about that, and you need to forget about pricing, and look for employees that you can trust. Look for people that you want them to see the details of the job. You don't want them to have to come ask you, hey, how much was this? Or, hey, what's up with this? Or, you want them to have access. That's the whole point. Everybody has access to everything. That's how you can work together as a true team, and you can grow, and you can start to rely on people and so on. Because when you don't give people trust, when you don't give them opportunity, they look elsewhere. People want opportunity. They want trust. They want to be able to grow. They want to be able to do right and so on. And you want to attract people like that want that opportunity, and you want to give them that opportunity. If you treat people like they're criminals out to hurt you and like they're idiots that can't handle anything, then what you're going to do is you're going to start to attract criminals that want to hurt you, and you're going to attract idiots because the other people are going to go elsewhere, because nobody wants to be treated like that. So I feel very strongly on it that there's a lot of other reasons, but we're already reaching the hour mark, and looks like we already lost Haas. Haas said he had to run, but he'll finish this later tonight. Haas, I appreciate you sticking with us for the first hour of this. Matt Piazza said, what if we have a vehicle and Matt's from 44 Tools, what if we have a vehicle that comes into the shop that is going to hit all aspects of the shop? The guys want to detail, tint, and PPF. Can I put the same car on 3 different guys and schedule? You absolutely can. So you're just going to put that in as one project. It's one project. You're going to have the additional services. And then as far as people that do that project, you can assign as many installers to that project as you'd like. You can assign them at different times even. So you can install the tint guy, assign the tint guy. He's going to be working in the car from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Then the PPF guy comes in. Or the detail guy would come next, let's say, and he would detail the car, work on it for 3 hours. Then you can have the PPF. You can just add different, schedule different events, or you can do them all at the same time. If people are going to be working at the same time, do it. You can add as many people as many times to one project as possible. It becomes another project only when you're doing a separate invoice. Think of it this way. A project can be invoiced once. So one project has one invoice. So if they're going to be charged, if they come back a week later and they're going to do another service, that's a new project, okay? Same car, new project. But if they're doing 3 things to the car at once, they're paying on one bill, that's one project with 3 services. And that could have as many as unlimited people touching it at the same time or at different times. Super flexible there. Cody said that he thinks they make medication for that. And he's talking about my fast talking. Yep, they definitely do, but I'm not taking it. We'll just have to slow it down in post-production. This is why I love the individual Tint Wisdoms. I love talking to somebody. I really do. And I equally love just being able to talk to you all, because I get to do the talking. Because when I do have somebody on, for the most part, I try to take it as an opportunity to hear what they have to say. So, because that's how I learn, and that's how I feel like we get the value as a group. In this live stream, we get the value out of hearing them talk, not just me talk to them. So this gives me a chance to spit it all out. And then Jason said, talk it up. Jason is the window tint rant specialist. So Tinter Tuesdays on Instagram every other Tuesday. And, there's always a rant. That's always a part of the show. And you definitely want to catch his rants. His rants are pretty epic. They're always window foam related. And he just said Tinter Tour, something that came from me watching last Tuesday's Tinter Tuesday, and on his Instagram he mentioned a PPF school and a tint school, and a school, basically a tinter school, and that's pretty cool. So do it. So what I mean by do it, I'm just reading the comments and talking at the same time. By do it, I mean watch it, because there's a lot to learn from his live streams. They're every other Tuesday on his Instagram account, and his rants are entertaining, his guests are educational, and his aspirations in the film industry are high. A tinter school sounds fucking awesome. And there's other tint schools out there, and I think there can never be too many, because again, what's the biggest challenge you hear from tint shops typically is I can't find good help. And somebody who's wanting to go down the road of creating a system to train good help, that road is worth going down and reinventing. No matter how many schools are out there, whether there's online, in person, there's room for more. There's always ways for better. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm very excited about that. I'm just reading through the comments, and we'll go into number 9. Can I use my business logo on proposals and invoices? You absolutely can. You're just going to go into the settings area, go to edit details, upload your business logo. So, getting set up for Tint Wiz takes like a second, but you do want to spend a few moments in the settings area doing things like adding your logo. That'll be on your proposals and invoices. You also want to go ahead and add any payment terms or fine print. You can add links to your insurance, to your proposals. You can add links to your W-9. You can do those things. You set them up once. You put your insurance there. Think about this. You add your insurance to the proposal, and how many people are going to instantly see your insurance as far as like flat glass goes? If you're a flat glass dealer, you get asked for insurance. Well, how many people are going to see it right there? Boom, there's their insurance. There's their W-9. Wow, this company has it organized, versus another company that you have to ask for it. So think about this. One of the downsides to like small commercial work, sometimes, I want to kind of paint a picture, is that small commercial work, you may never talk to the owner of the company. You may be dealing with just a secretary of the company or somebody that was in charge of getting bids to get that done, okay? So what I mean by that is window film or graphics or so on. That person, they're not necessarily motivated by the best price. Now, that may be how they pick. They may just pick the best price, but that person just wants to get it done. Get it done means is the job has to get done quickly, efficiently, look good, because it's going to be a reflection on them. How that job gets done. If the window tint looks terrible, well, that's going to be a reflection on them because they were tasked with hiring the company. Now, one way that you can show them that you are the right company for them and you can make their life easier is by attaching your W-9 and your insurance to your proposals. Because when they have a clear proposal that they can just show their boss or email somebody or save or download or whatever it is, and they can see that they have access to the W-9 and insurance, that's one less thing to ask for. Boom, this company's insured. This company's, registered with the state. I don't have to ask for those. You may just become it's another step to credibility, and it's a path of least resistance for them. It's one less thing they have to ask for. It's one less email you have to answer, phone call you have to receive from somebody that says, hey, we need your insurance. But no, it's there. It's in the invoice. It's in the proposal. There's a link at the bottom. You can grab it. It's something that's worth spending the time to do. And it's one of the things you want to invest a couple minutes in setting up in the settings area of your Tint Wiz account. You spend a couple minutes setting it up, pays you back forever. And you update it whenever your insurance goes. You get an updated insurance, you just update it there. So Brian said the problem with some of the schools is they want to teach guys the business, not the installation. Business owners want to send them guys to learn how to install for them not to run a business and run their own business. Well, I think that's fair, and I think those are two separate things. Learning how to install tint and learning the business end of it, two completely separate things. And I think it's good feedback for Jason since he's about to embark on that journey. And it can, they can be completely different courses that you pay for separately, courses that they're just two separate things. I could see a lot of, people who say, I wouldn't go to a tint school, would go to a school that teaches them the business aspects of it. I think there's a huge demand in that aspect. So, I think separating them makes sense. I think, Brian, that's a good point. Certainly, if I have an installer and I'm sending them to learn PPF or I'm sending them to learn how to install tint, I'm not really interested in them learning the business ends of the financials. I'm not so against it. I don't think that that's going to ruin anything. I think maybe it gives them some appreciation or insight, but I don't necessarily want that in there because of the potential conflict. So I I think your point is very, very well received, and it's an opportunity for somebody to fill the needs for separate training. And it's a great point. I love it. Cody said, I love how fluid Tint Wiz is. Whole time I was here, I was just inputting prices in the inventory tab. So what he's talking about, and something that you should be aware of, is you can insert fixed pricing. So you can actually go in your settings or in your inventory, and you can say like, okay, this window film, this brand is going to be this amount per square foot. And what that allows you to do is you set that once, right? So when you go to create a proposal, all you do is you select that type of film, your proposal auto-populates the details of that film, and it's going to automatically calculate your square footage of your proposal with that preset price per square foot, and it's going to give you that price right there. Okay, so it's going to auto-calculate it. Then you can insert the price you want it to be if you want it to be lower, or you can set a percentage if you want to show a discount, or you can just edit the price. You can delete it and just put a new price. You can do whatever you want. But if you typically go around, let's say $9 a square foot for frost film, or whatever it is, $8 a square foot, or $10 for dual reflective, or $12.50 for ceramic, you can insert those dollar amounts in there once, have them auto-calculate for you. And then if you want to adjust it up or down for that specific job, you can do that right on the proposal. You don't have to, it's very easy. You just backspace it and you can adjust the price per that job. It's going to give you a baseline of where you normally are without having to calculate it. And it brings you some consistency to your pricing. It saves you time. And you know, it's one less thing you have to do every single time. Brian said, I feel like the business owner would be more hesitant to send their guys if they only taught install. I feel like business owners would be more hesitant to send their guys if they only, do you mean, less hesitant. Then he followed up, less hesitant. I agree. I really wasn't aware of that, the business aspect of it, because what you're saying is right. There's completely two services. You're talking about, hey, you're going to go work for a window tint business, and in these 3 days, we're going to train you not everything, as much as we can to know about installing window film and doing your job the best way you possibly can. Or it's you want to start a window tinting business, and we're going to try and train you on as many aspects of the business as we can. And you're 100% right. Those are two completely different things. An example would be Ceramic Pro does a training, and they separate it typically into 2 days, 3 days really. One day will be showing you the installation and how to, install it and do paint correction and apply it to a vehicle. The second day is dedicated to the business end of it, and how to sell it, and how to hire people, and how to pay them, and how to track your inventory expenses, and so on. And then they separate a day for marine. So I feel like the equivalent is kind of like automotive, flat glass, and the business end of it. They're three different things. They're three completely different things. So Brad said designating accessories manager at a dealership, the ability to view my schedule and input an appointment. So in that aspect, I'd say it's not a good fit right now, though we do see the need for it, and it is something that's going to be added to the scheduling so that you can basically give somebody their only option basically is they can see what areas they can't schedule, and then they can input their own schedule. And that's going to be a really cool feature for exactly what you said. Dealerships to be able to schedule themselves basically in your schedule, and you will be able to pick, windows of time that person's even allowed to schedule. So as a business owner, you can say, well, that dealership or that contact can schedule only on these days or only between these time windows or so on. So that's going to be really cool as well. And you're bringing up a definite need in the scheduling system, because something like that, it opens up the form of communication pretty darn well. Now, something that you can do right now, which is, I think is it's a step in between what we're talking about and where, maybe what you're doing is you can create a lead form and make that leads form specifically for, let's say, a car dealership, okay? Or for a salesperson. So you could do it as for a car dealership, and then they could, on that lead form, they can select who the salesperson is, or you can make a specific lead form for a specific person, and then you can give them that link, and they can actually just use that link anytime they want to get somebody scheduled. Now, it's not going to schedule them automatically, but what it is going to do is it's going to let you know that, John at AutoNation Toyota has a 2020 Land Cruiser, and wants to get this service done, all sides in the back or the two front to match the back during this day preferred time. And then you're going to get that notification instantly. You're able to see if that works for your schedule and then maybe text message him or her back and let them know, hey, we don't have that time, but we do have this time, or hey, you're confirmed. So that's a nice way that you can do right now. And that's going to be by creating a custom lead form, and you can put anything you want on that lead form. That lead form can be unique per dealership or per specific person. That becomes their one link that they can save on their phone. They can open it up and they can type in the information, and boom, 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 you're going to know who wants to be scheduled for what, when, and then all you have to do is confirm that time and add it to the schedule. But we will be bridging that gap. But I really think that's a very professional way that you can give them access to at least initiating getting scheduled without you having to take down the information over the phone or them randomly send it in a bulky text message. Once they send it to you, boom, it's a lead in there and you're done. So, do it. Cody Becker said, our new venture is a fully separate, fully functional window cleaning company. When are we going to make Glass Clean Wiz? So, Cody, you can do all your glass cleaning proposals through Tint Wiz. Use additional features. You have measurements. It's the same thing. I get what you're saying, but our idea essentially, or how we kind of want to go about that is, it's not to create versions of this app for different industries. It's to create an app that can be used by this industry to use for all their services. So if you also do window cleaning, how can we make that easy for you to do that now and easier for you to do that in the future? And the same for all the kind of related glass replacement, window cleaning, and so on, paint protection film, all the flat glass, all the automotive, marine, and so on, all these services that you're going to be able to encompass in your business all in one place, not on a separate app, not in a separate industry, but brought together in a way that makes it so damn efficient for you to cross-sell and handle all your customers and cross-market and sell more than one thing when you're at a job and do it all from one place. So, last question on the top 10 list, and of course, if you have any more to add, please feel free. Everybody who's added one has been something that I really get excited about. So don't stop with the questions. But number 10 on our list of most commonly asked questions is just about the cost. So there is a question of cost. How much does Tint Wiz cost? So this is the way Tint Wiz works. You sign up with your email and your phone number. There's no payment information to insert. You get a 30-day free trial. That 30-day trial gives you unlimited complete access to the entire Tint Wiz. Okay? You can add as many employees, you can add as many projects, you can add as many customers, you can add as many pictures, upload as many videos, you can do anything you want. It's completely unlimited in that aspect, and it's completely free. We don't need any of your information, just your email and your name, and then you create a login, a password, okay? After 30 days, you're going to be at a fork in the road. You either say, hey, my free trial is up. I need more time to decide. I have some questions. I didn't get a chance to use it. Whatever it is. You're in that fork in the road, you send us a live chat, we extend your free trial. No problemo. Your other option, you put in your credit card information. You get everything, all unlimited users, projects, uploads, pictures, videos, and so on. It's $100 a month. That covers as many people that ever work for your company. So you add 10 people to your staff and you do $1 million in sales. And then you have 100 people on your staff and you do $100 million in sales. And you add pictures and video. Still $100 a month completely for your business. Now, if you add a second location, you do want to add a separate business and manage them separately, you can toggle back and forth very easily. Then it's a separate $100. Basically, per business, per location, it's $100, okay? Now, there's a lot of ways to justify a $100 add-on to your business for the amount of convenience and efficiency and growth that it'll provide. But something that just pictures and videos, having pictures and videos of every car you do, every house you do, before and after. And you can search and say, I want to see this car with this shade of tint, or this color car with this shade of tint, and pull that up, or this year. Or being able to say, I want to see a house in this neighborhood, and I want to show the before and afters to somebody else in that neighborhood. I want to show this film on 5 other houses. This is crazy valuable, okay? This is just one aspect of Tint Wiz, but it's a crazy valuable aspect, okay? It's something that, like, once you have, you use that as a snowball effect to sell more customers, to create marketing for your website, for your Google page, for your Yelp page, for your text message when you're making sales. You can attach them to your proposals in Tint Wiz. So you can send somebody a proposal for a white Tesla Model 3, and you can attach pictures in that proposal. You can attach pictures in a proposal you're sending out of other Tesla Model 3s, same white color, before and afters. Like, think about how valuable that is when a customer is making a decision on what company to use for their $5,000 ceramic coating, paint protection film, window tint, and so on, or for their home. When you're able to show them homes in your neighborhood, here before and after pictures of 5 homes in your development, and you're able to pull those up and sort them in seconds and attach them to a proposal. Jeez, that's such a value right there. And that's, again, it's $100. We didn't talk about inventory management that is unlike anything the industry offers, a way to manage your inventory and know how much film's on a roll and assign them to people, let people check them in and out and so on. Know what you have in stock without lifting the box cap. Okay, you have inventory management in there. You have scheduling. You have group teamwork. You have notes. You have proposals. You have invoice, and you have QuickBooks. It's worth $100 a month. Just sign up, start using it. Use live chat if you have questions. We're there to help. Basically, 24 hours a day. We'll help you in every way possible. The support alone, I'm telling you, is something that people don't necessarily recognize as a feature, but having support on an app where you can communicate with somebody basically 24 hours a day, ask questions, get answers, read help articles that we create specifically to answer questions, all instantly, all almost 24 hours a day. I mean, I'm just telling you, highly recommend it. Cody Becker says, don't hesitate, fellow Becker. It's a day and night different. Oh, he was talking about Brad Becker. So, okay, let me get Brad, fellow Becker. Brad Becker said, I need to stop watching these videos and just get my free trial going. You do. Go to tintwiz.com or download the app in the App Store. You can do it in Google Play. You can do it in the Apple App Store. And from any computer, any internet connection, you can go to tintwiz.com. And again, it's going to be your email and your name, and that's it. You're in there. From there, go to settings. Maybe set up your address, your phone number, put your logo in there. Just a few settings you have to adjust, and you're good to go. Start using it. Start adding customers. Get your lead form set up on your website, and watch how convenient that process is when people are putting in their information into a lead form. A phone number is not enough. A contact page is not enough. You need your lead form on your homepage. You need it throughout your website so that people start putting their information into that lead form. You're conveniently contacted with what that information is, and you're able to call them back quickly and start that process. You want to call them back ideally before they're able to dial the next company. Because when you're able to do that, you're able to reduce the amount of people who get other quotes because they know they have it taken care of with you. So you want to make your response time as fast as possible. You want to be as organized as possible, and you want to enable yourself to view everybody in one place so you can see who called, or who submitted their information, who called. You can call them back, you can get back to them, and you can follow up with them. You can see, who did I talk to 3 days ago that didn't buy? Let me call them back, see if they got it done. Let's see if we can work out a deal. Let's see if we can get them scheduled. Super, super worth it. And then Cody Becker said to Brad Becker, he said, don't hesitate, fellow Becker. It's day and night difference. I'm not sure about your business, but when you show up to a commercial project with a tablet and digital proposal, it makes perceived value of your business skyrocket. When a Joe Blow shows up the road, has a chicken scratch proposal, the notes that make no sense, and has no uniformity. That's just one small thing that goes a long way. That is exactly right. It makes a big difference when you're able to do things like that. There are so many people who will simply go with you because they see you're professional, they trust you, they just want to get the job done. It becomes no longer about price. It becomes about you're giving them a proposal on the spot. You can create all this on your phone on your phone or email, on your phone or tablet, and show them the proposal right there on the spot. Most people are going, all right, I'm gonna thank you. I got the measurements. I'm gonna go back to the office. We're gonna write up a proposal and we'll email it to you. Hopefully by the end of the day today, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Okay, that is a different experience than somebody who spent the time to have you come out there, met with you, talk to you, want to know a price, want to get this done, and you can't do that. You can't tell them a yes. You can't get them scheduled on the spot right then and there. Here's the price. This is how much it's going to cost to get this job done. When would you like to schedule? Let them. I'd love to get it done. That's amazing. I'd love to get it done tomorrow, as soon as possible. Those are going to be answers that you hear. Okay, or you're going to hear, well, the price is a little higher than I thought, or, well, I have this question. And that's your opportunity right then and there to address those questions, pricing concerns, whatever those things are. And you win when you have things being able to be done quicker. When you're able to give a consultation with a proposal on the spot, you win. That's how you win. You win when you're able to do things quickly, efficiently, and professionally. So digital proposals are a must. Brad Becker said, is there a check-in or check-out for dings, scratches, tears, seats, junk all over the back? So this is how you handle it, Brad. Okay, there is a check-in feature at the top in the event when you start the vehicles. You can hit check-in and you can do that. That's saying, hey, this is when the vehicle arrived. Okay. Now at the same time, you walk around the vehicle and you take the before pictures. Those are before pictures that you label as before pictures. They're time stamped and right then and there. So you walk around, you can take video, you can take pictures, you attach them right there, and you're going to show every issue that was on the vehicle. I suggest take as many before pictures as possible. Take a video, because sometimes video catches things that somehow get missed in pictures. And you can do that even with the customer. You can go over all of it, okay? And you can point it out to them, and then you simply upload that video and those pictures to the project. Those pictures live in there forever, okay? After it's done, you can walk around, you do your after pictures and so on. Now, if your customer says, well, what about this ding? You can say, well, I have the video right here. Now, if they call you a week later, what about this ding? I have pictures and video right here. This is before. This is with you. This is when you dropped it off. Here it is. And it's organized with every project forever. You always can refer back. You can refer back a year later and so on. You can refer back a day later whenever you want. It's there attached to the project. You're not paying storage fees. That's all included within the $100 a month. We talk about efficiency. The way we manage our uploaded data, you want to talk about efficiency. That's how we're able to do it. So take advantage of that, because if not, where are you looking for pictures? Where are you finding them? Are they in your emails? Are you scrolling through your phone looking for them? It's not the same. It maybe works now. It works for a week. It works for a month. It works when you're doing a couple of cars a day. It doesn't work at a large scale. It doesn't work when you have multiple employees. It doesn't work when you're doing 10, 15 cars a day. It doesn't work when you're running around doing flat glass jobs. So yes, that is the way you can handle check-in and check-out. All time stamped. You'll know when the vehicle arrived, or when you arrived to the home. You'll see all the before pictures, all the after pictures, and when the job was completed. You know, when you talk about like sign-off sheets and waivers. If somebody has a sign-off sheet they're using, well, keep using it. Have them fill out the sign-off sheet. They can circle the spots on the car. You can take a picture of it, upload that picture to Tint Wiz, and boom, you have your sign-on sheet attached with that. And if that helps, that helps. But I really believe in today's day and age, what helps is a video. Video means to me a lot more than a sign-on sheet. Video is more real. It's easier. It's right there. It's convenient. It's paperless, and it's very clear. It's very detailed. You know, if I was dropping my vehicle off and the shop takes a video of the vehicle with me, showing me any imperfections beforehand and showing me, basically performing the check-in procedure on video. Okay, I feel like this customer is going to this shop is going to make sure that nobody dings my car. I know, like, my vehicle right now is at the Ford dealer. Okay, it's been there for quite a while. And my worry all the time is, when my truck's there for so long, am I going to get it back with a ding or a scratch that wasn't there at the beginning? Now, when I dropped it off, they didn't do a walk around. So, if they would have did a video walk around, I'm not worried, because there's a video walk around. So video walk around, check in and check out. That's the way to do it. Matt said, with inventory, can you associate a roll series number for future tracking of warranty issues and such? Say you have a bunch of failures and you're able to track it to a specific roll and see how many. So this is actually a really easy thing too. The way you want to track this is, you want to get in the habit when you're doing a job. Okay, you're at a job. You're taking before pictures. Now you're going to install the job. Take a picture of the box end. You just take a picture of the box end and upload it to the project. That box end, forever, you'll know what box of film you used for that project. That customer calls you and says, hey, my film's bubbling, blah, blah, blah. You literally just go to the pictures and you're going to see, there's the box end. I see the series number. I see I see everything. The roll number. You can literally send that box number to your manufacturer and say, boom, here's the box with the warranty issue. They're able to see it. You're not talking about retyping things. You're not talking about anything. You're talking about take a picture of the box end, upload it to the project, done. That's it. One picture, done. It's like a second, done. That's it. You want to get in that habit. You want to have all your installers, all your staff, they want to take a picture of the box end and attach it to the project so that forever, you can look back Think about flat glass. Flat glass might come back to you because of glass broken in 6 months or a year. Maybe you're using terrible film and you get a call in 4 or 5. But realistically, you might get a call 8, 10, 15 years later with flat glass. You need a place to be able to look it up and say, hey, what film did I use? And that's the way to do it. It's a simple picture of the end of the box, upload it with your project, and it's going to live there forever. Cody said, what I like to do is view the proposal with them, go through everything, and make them a part of it. When it's a piece of paper, you can't do that. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. You want to involve them in the process. You want to make them feel comfortable. You want to show them that you care. These are opportunities to strike up conversations. They're opportunities to educate them. They're opportunities to show that you have a system in place and why you are the company that is the best solution for them. Okay? Those things might live in your heart and they might live in your head, but you have to learn to practice them and have them go from in your head and in your heart to in your customer's ears and in your customer's eyes. And they're able to see those cues, your organization. They're able to hear when you're able to talk to them and involve them in the process. And that makes a big difference. And Brad said, free trial started. Free trial started. Well, any questions you have, congratulations on your free trial. And any questions you have, we're in the live chat. We're in the live support. That's the best way to get an answer to anything. And then we also have a help section. So you'll find a help section. This is a library that we take time to create. We answer questions. We do how-tos. We have screenshots and so on. And these are ways that you can figure things out that you didn't even know were a question. Just jump in that help section. You're going to see that. So that might be the end of this Tint Wisdom. We made it through all top 10 most commonly asked questions on the Tint Wiz live support. We answered a couple more that came in through the questions, and maybe we'll wrap this up. So thank you, everybody, for watching live, for watching after, but especially for those who watch live and add comments in here and ask questions. Makes this a lot more fun. So thanks for doing that. Next Tuesday, we'll be joined by Rob Oranges from Denko. We're going to be talking about printers. We're going to be talking about flat glass films. And this is a chance. I'm telling you, Rob Oranges, this is a chance to ask absolutely all of your graphics questions, like printer questions, flat glass questions. If you have glass questions, this is the guy to ask. You want to talk about angles of glass and film construction. I don't know who understands this stuff with the in-depth knowledge and way to explain it better than Rob Oranges when it comes to like flat glass and so on. So that'll be Tuesday. I'm really pumped about that one. So we'll see you on Tuesday. And Cody, welcome cookies are on the way to you. Triads or those welcome cookies. Got something on the way to you, Cody. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your feedback and questions and so on. And have a great night, everyone. Thanks again for watching.